One of the many projects you have collaborated on was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band with the illustrious George Martin. Please tell us about this experience.
Yeah, it was pretty deep. And the engineer on the session was Jeff Emmerich, who recorded all the Beatles with George, Sir George. And that was quite a call. And when I went to go meet him for the pre-production meeting, and you got to remember, it was the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton, being the voices in this, so it was a big deal. Anyway, I go to meet with him, and I'm fully expecting to get the treat of my life to be reading George Martin arrangements. And he says, no, I want you to do it. I'm looking for your sound, not my sound. It's a tall order to fill, and so we did it, and it came out great. He's one of the nicest guys to work with, gentleman. And we went on to do together 2 America records in time after that. So it was always a pleasure. I mean, it's like you're in the company of just greatness, and he's such a soft-spoken and generous guy that it was. And that's the one thing kind of cool about being the arranger. You get to meet the producer or the artist beforehand, and you kind of in a room like this or in a room with a piano and really kind of get a friendship, because I think it's important. The group that I work with in Tokyo called Dreams Come True, they're huge. The lead singer, Yoshida Miwa, she is like Madonna, how Madonna was 25 years ago. And still to this day, she's like Gaga or something like that. It's a duo. And I first worked with him in 1995. And that just goes to show you that music is a language, and we all speak the same language. And the better you can communicate musically, the better you can converse musically, So, so I ended up working on this record with Michael Brecker. And we did this record in LA, and it was Harvey Mason on drums, Ralph McDonald on percussion, David T. Walker on guitar, Michael Brecker and I were the horn players on the record, and it was just an amazing musical outing. And then we got called to do a tour of Japan. Michael couldn't do it, so Eric Marienthal did it. And we were there for a month, and subsequently I've been back to do shows with them. I just finished probably about a dozen times, and these tours are like a big deal. I mean, it's full on, amazing. The kids, we play the Budokan, which is a 17,000 seat auditorium, 6 nights in a row. It's incredible, I was just in New York a couple of weeks ago, working on their 16th record, and so I'll probably go back and tour with that. I used a New York horn section for that, which is great, and it's a wonderful life I've had. I really have had a lot of opportunities to experience some things that, man, I'm really grateful, and I try to keep as humble as I can, and just enjoy it all. It's been a nice ride.
Well, you've mentioned your friendship with Paul Schaefer, and you collaborated with him in writing the theme from the David Letterman's Late Night Show.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Paul had written it, but when they were still on NBC, the horn section would be in New York like once every couple months. We'd be playing. We were constantly touring, and we'd be in, around, or in New York City. And so we'd line it up so, we're going to be in town Thursday night or Tuesday night. And you tape at 4:30 in the afternoon, so you can go have your gig, at night. So we would do the show, the horn section. But the way they were playing the theme, there was no horn arrangement. So I did the horn arrangement for that. And he and I, so we would we'd do the anniversary shows, with Tom Jones, and and Al Green and all these people, and we would be the anniversary shows were the big deal, the big production. And one year we did it at Universal Amphitheater in LA. Brought the whole show out and supplemented the band with the Tower Power Horn section and David Sanborn, and we brought in Lenny Pickett, who was a former member, and it was a big show. I mean, really big show. And Paul and I worked together as musical directors for that show. So we were real delighted to get an Emmy nomination in the mail after we did the show, which was, that's my only Emmy nomination, and even to get nominated is really an honor. And I have Grammy nominations, but the Emmy was pretty nice, and it's kind of a cursed award, because the way it always works for musical direction in a variety or that kind of a thing. Christmas at the Kennedy Center always wins. You don't stand a chance against that show. It's just a perennial favorite. And then they always say, well, it was nice to be nominated, because you're not going to win. But because they do the Emmys out here, I went to the show, and it was one of those things. It was really, truly, the writers were up for an award too. And Paul didn't come, but I represented us in our category, and my wife Andrea and I went, and it was so funny because we were sitting at a table of 10, and like they were all the writers, David's writers, and then the jokes were just so funny. But when we lost, when they lost their category, man, that table went dark. It was so funny. They were no more jokes, and it was soon like everybody's looking at their watch. And there's like maybe 40 minutes to go to the show, and everybody just kind of gets up and leaves. There's my cocktail, and it was funny. But Paul and I continue to keep in touch. Now they have a horn section, so I don't do the show anymore. I've been on the show when I was in support of Midnight Morning. They had me on, and this is an awfully big band to take to New York. We're going to do. We've been asked to do Berks Jazz Festival, and so if we get back there and we can do B.B. King's in New York City, maybe they can put the whole band on.
That would
the
be
show.
wonderful.
Oh yeah, it'd be great, and the kind of diverse musical acts that Dave has on, and Dave and I are good friends, and so. I think it'll be a chance, and then go out and do Scullers in Boston, and it's just it's tough to move a 10-piece band around without being considerable expense, but and sometimes we can only fly in, do one show, and then fly home. If we can string together 3 or 4 dates and stay out for a week, then and if we could get on Letterman, I think that would be a great thing. I don't hold my breath. I think they have them lining up in the trenches to get bands on there. But I think I have an in.
Yes.
So maybe if I cross my fingers again.
So what other exciting things can we expect from you in the future?
Well, like I said, it's kind of funny. We thought about doing a Sweet Soul Christmas with East Bay Soul. And
wonderful.
But I think we're a little too late for this year. But I don't want to do a rush job, We may do a one night just to run up the flagpole at Spaghettini and see how that goes. We would rather put together a whole show and have it ready to go. You can't start really in October for the December shows. It's a little late.
Yes.
And we'll start planning it after Christmas, and I can sit down and do the right arrangements for Daryl, our singer, to sing. And I've done this in the past with a jazz singer named Marilyn Scott, and so it's nothing new to me. And I know how to do these, make the traditional songs, hip them up, and put a smile on everybody's face, and we're good to go.
Well, thank you very much for spending some time with
Thank
us,
you,
Ray,
Michelle. Thank you.
here in Catalina.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.